Hi everyone, today we're going to be doing an art project where you can create your initial using some yarn or string and some beads. What you will need is a canvas. If you have a hard canvas, that would be great. This is an 8x10 hard canvas that I'm using. You're going to need a pencil, a brush, some scissors, your string or yarn that you're going to use to create your initial, your beads. These are pony beads. You could do one color, a couple colors, or for mine I'm going to do a multitude of colors. You're also going to need your glue. Elmer's glue is fine. If you happen to have a glue gun, that can also help when you put down your letters, so it'll dry faster. And of course, your paint, whatever color paint you want, and we're going to start with that. We're going to paint our background. You're going to paint the background. You can paint it any color that you want, whether it's just one color or a couple colors or a bunch of different colors. I'm going to choose mine, so I'm going to put pink for mine. I'm going to start off with that first. I'm going to blend another color into it. Again, you could use your brush to do it, or if you've seen my past classes, we've also used sponges. You could either use a sponge, cotton balls, or just a paper towel to just kind of dab some other color into it. I'm going to do that with a different color, only because I do love texture, and there's the way that this blends together. So you're going to want to let this dry before you start gluing down your letter. Actually, and I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to trace your letter first, whatever your first initial is. I'm going to show you how to do that. Once your background is completely dry, we're going to put our initial on there. So you're just going to put the first letter of your name on here. But the way you're going to do it is you're going to make it like puffy letters. And I'm going to show you an example of that. So if you actually saw our guest artist that we just had teaching graffiti, the easiest way that he had done it was first, let's say your initial starts with a T. So you write your T, but then now you're just gonna kind of trace around it so it becomes thicker. And what we're going to do is then put the string or yarn glued down only on the outside part of it. You don't need to erase the inside lines, since we will be covering it with our pony beads. So this is just an example. So same thing, if you're an E, you can write your E and then just trace around it like an outline. And again, we're only going to put the glued down yarn or string only on the outer part. So I'm going to put mine as D for Diane. So same thing, you just want to kind of keep it in the middle, because when you make it puffier, you don't want it to go too close to the edge. So I will start right here. I'm going to write a D. That's okay if you can, as long as you can see it a little bit, that's good. So I wrote my letter, and now I'm going to put it as a puffy letter. So I'm going to just trace around that. And you want to leave enough space on the inside so you can glue down your beads. There you go. If you have trouble seeing it, you could trace it over with a marker, a black Sharpie or something, just so you can see it better. Once you have the outlines of your letter on your canvas, you're going to want to measure out your yarn or string just to make sure you have enough. So I would just, before gluing it down, I would just make sure you have about enough. Okay, so you have that, and then you could cut. So that's for my inside part of the D. I want to make sure I have enough for the outer part of my D. Again, I'm going to cut, and I'll fix it as I glue it down. So just remember which string, if you have two strings like I do, let's make sure you know which one's for the inside part and which is for the outside part. And now you could use Elmer's glue to trace down the letter. I would probably start, if you have two, like if you have an O, I would start from the inside line first. I would glue it. But just to save some time, I'm going to actually use a glue gun. So if you do have a glue gun and you have some help, you could definitely use a glue gun to put down your string just to make it quicker instead of having to wait for it to dry, because we're going to want your string to dry before you actually start putting down your beads. Again, I'm going to be using a glue gun, and I'm going to start off slowly just by one side. If you do use a glue gun, I would just do one side at a time. So let me get that first. I'm just gonna want to glue that like that. Push it down, just be careful. And now we're gonna sweep it around. And I'm done. So here's my letter D. You're gonna have your own letter, obviously. And if you have a little bit of string left over, you could either just glue that down, or you could try and snip it off. I would just glue it down. Again, you could just use your regular glue. If you use regular Elmer's glue, again, you're just gonna want it to let the string dry so it doesn't move when you work with it. Once everything is dry, then we're ready to put our beads on there. Again, these are just pony beads. And this is just a great texture art, or it's great for working as tactile art, because you could definitely touch it and know exactly where you're gonna wanna go. What you're gonna do is gonna wanna fill up some areas with glue. So not too thick, just a good amount so the beads won't come off. I will work each area little by little. And then just grab whatever beads you want to put on there. So I am going to do a mix of colors. You can do one color if you want, like I said. And I'm facing it down that way, but you could definitely face them up as well if you want to do that. Just a mix. And you're going to do that all around your letter. It's a very simple way of creating a beautiful art piece. And with that, since I have green already, once you have your beads in place, you're going to want to let that dry, and once it's fully dry, you can hang it up. If you want, you can then also just start decorating around your letter if you want to, or you can just leave it like this. I'm probably going to do some other little designs around, so I'm going to probably take a little bit more paint and just kind of put more dab around it.